Greetings and salutations, Ben and Rob here. You guys right about there. Well, there could be a lady. There's no lady. Guys. There's no ladies.
No, we welcome them. We welcome them.
Welcome to Sunday Night Hang, and we're hanging here on a Sunday, as the name entails. I know, nothing gets back by us. Sure, can't talk, even though we do it for a living. That's fine. We got a bunch of people rolling on in here, and we'll give them a second to come on in. And there's been discrepancies as to who was first in the chat. And Earl was, as per usual, but his comment got deleted because it was in there 14 hours ago. It wasn't in there 14 hours ago. It was in there about 8 hours ago because it's about the time I created the show. Can't tell you what I'm drinking, but there will be a review of it in a week or two. That's all I can say about that. And then we got Dastardly Dave in the chat. We like Dastardly Dave. There's JP Page 2. He shows up chats, just doesn't check his email. What? No, that's fine. That's fine. Ferd Burfle's here. He's cooking up some bean soup with ham for dinner.
Ooh, yum.
Nice. Then we got Randy Crooks, who's on an undetermined amount of edibles. That's perfect, Randy. Jack Collins. Good to see Jack. It's been a minute. They're all talking to each other. There's Marcel Leblanc.
Oui.
From the South Shore. Unfucking Believable is here.
Hey.
Chris. Who else? Sir William of Bologna the Third. Eston Ray is here. Terry's 3Gs. What's up, Terry? Steve Cassidy Guitar. What? Hello, Guitar and Soda humans. Yeah, that's right. Soda Pop Saturdays are back, folks. I'm just saying.
Yay.
Yay. Sun's out, and I haven't shot one outside yet. It's all kind of shot right here. But a fellow managed to come down here about 10 minutes earlier than usual and shot one not half an hour ago. So there we are. That's what happens when you're running low on regular beverages and need to try a new one, so that opens up new possibilities, right? Wayne McConnell's here. Hit Metalworks is here. Michael Krause actually got a notification. Dan Gorman. What's up, Dan? Six String Stanger. Hey, just popped in for a few. Yeah, I popped in for a few of yours last night. I was lurking. I was baking a devil's food cake at the time because people say, "Oh, weed leads to harder drugs." It doesn't. It leads to baking. It leads to baking because you can buy a piece of cake at the store, but why when you can have an entire sheet cake to yourself? Yeah, that's the diabetes calling.
That's the diabetes. Yep, that's what that. Yep.
Especially with the chocolate icing on the devil's food cake. You have to. Now, also, you don't want to be lactose intolerant because you need all the milk to wash that down.
Mm-hmm.
So good, though.
It's like breakfast, though. It has eggs in it.
No heartburn from chocolate cake, in fact.
No heartburn.
Jade Guitars, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Keith H. is here. Grandpa Davis here. Great to see you, David Ennis. There's Charles 75N.
Hi, Charles.
Only 4 minutes late. That's fine. That's fine. Fun show with Brother Ed today, although it was just, I don't know. There was about 3 questions in an hour, I swore. Well, I swore as well, but there was only about 3 questions. Tom Raines, good to see you. That was a fun time. No, devil's food, Terry. But I see what you did. No, not angel, devil. So basically, delectable chocolate cake with delectable chocolate icing on top. So Martian Murray, who's neither Martian nor Murray, but we like him anyways. What? I'm going to keep saying it because Trev makes me obligated. We actually haven't seen Trev tonight. Hip, is Trev alive or is he taking the day off everywhere? Hip would know. He knows what they say. I don't see Matt either. Maybe some people are going overtime on another show.
Oh.
That's fine. Well, Greasy Monkey's Guitar just dropped in from a certain chat. I was going to name names, and then Greasy Monkey did. But that's fine. So, yes, we got our good friend BCRICH581. Oh, and before I forget, Rob.
Yes.
It's 2 days post. You may not be aware of this, but 2 years ago, just this past Friday, our friend China Mike passed away. So, I want to say, rest in power, China Mike.
We miss you, Lance. We miss you so much.
Yeah.
You were a gem. You really brought a lot of light to the world, and we do miss you.
That was one of the chats on a Sunday. In fact, around the same time Charles is now. That like I would consistently see you in. For when the schedule was at that time, let's say 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
When Lance or Mike, whatever you want to call him, was doing his show. But and it was I just missed him. Out before I forgot.
And sometimes I still sit there on Sundays and it's like it used to be Mike. Oh, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
I just like, I was thinking, it's hard to believe 2 years, Randy. That is a long time.
I honestly thought it was 3 years. And then I was like, only 2? Yeah, because in a way it seems like yesterday, but on the other hand, it's,
it was hard.
People the last couple years, so,
Yeah.
That was a rough
he went so fast. I mean, that was the thing, I mean, he'd only been diagnosed, I think. Well, he'd been diagnosed a couple of years, but it had only really gotten severe for about 14 months or so, I think. And, it was quite a sad passing. And I never found out if anybody picked up his, like, small guitar builder conference that he used to do. I mean,
I don't think so. What's up, Ronnie? Ronnie, you are going to be referenced in this coming Saturday's Soda Pop Saturday because I finally got a boiling root beer and sipped it.
Ooh.
So I'm not going to tell you. I can't. Noise Bloom is here. Thank you, Dave. Randy Kirk asked, what's the last song that both of you learned? Ooh.
Let's see, on guitar or bass? Let's see, guitar. I just finally finished up probably all the guitar parts in the Smashing Pumpkins today. And I think I've been working on School Days by Stanley Clarke to get kind of all the nuances of that down.
Oh, nice.
Because I've got a brand new bass I'm going to be showing you all tonight. I filmed an unboxing video.
I'm just going to say, I'm hearing a level of playmanship between guitar and bass are a little different. I'm just going to say, you sound a little more verbose on one instrument versus the other. Figure out which one's which, folks.
Yep. Oh, I'm Mr. Rhythm.
Fuck off.
Oh, yeah, I am Mr. Rhythm on guitar. Still a lot of fun, though. Still a lot of fun.
Hey, you got to play rhythm. You can't play lead if you don't have a rhythm backing track. Just saying.
This is true. And as I'm learning,
it sounds like you're hanging out at Guitar Center.
There you go. And no one wants that. Oh yeah, schools. That just got reissued. I just saw something that Alice Cooper was back. I see that from Dastardly Dave.
What's the last song I learned? That's the problem with lifestyle choices. Hey, it's Sir Lawrence of the Pedals.
Yes, Walter, you're gonna have to move soon.
By the way, folks, there's going to be a unboxing, hopefully, on tomorrow night's show featuring LPD Pedals.
More from Lawrence, the gift that keeps on giving, and it's not even Christmas.
We can thank the patrons for that one. I'm just saying. Fortunately, in the last month, Ben's been able to do what he used to do, which was he'll put aside patron because it comes in U.S. dollars to put aside on U.S. things. I don't know what the last song I learned was. I have no idea. Wish I could tell you, Randy.
The Distance by Cake from William of Bologna. Boy, that's an obscure 90s one.
Huh. We got Paul McNary in the chat.
Hey, Paul.
That's bugging me now. That's where I need Trev. Trev usually knows this shit. Last song I learned, Trev.
Maybe relearning counts. How about a relearn? That's
the thing. I said in Charles' chat. I used to know about 300 songs.
I think it might.
Now I'm lucky if I know 50.
I think at my peak I knew about 150. I have no idea what I know now. I just I'd have to really sit down and know bits and pieces.
At one time in One Day to Live, we had 5 50-minute sets down with no repeats. That was hard.
We did 3 1-hour sets. That'd be about 14 songs a set. So 42 songs, maybe 3 for encores. The whole night would be 50 songs. And that was a lot. Now I don't know how I did it.
I know the next song I want to learn, that's Rock and Roll Fantasy. Bad Company. If nothing else, I just want to learn that cool little intro riff. And that could be a tone, Lawrence, if you could trap that tone in a box, because that's a unique focused tone, chorusy and guitar.
Mick Ralph's tone.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar man's itching for a falcon.
Nice. That's a white falcon, not just a falcon.
White falcon.
Yeah. All falcons should be white, but they offer them in all the colors of the rainbow. It doesn't matter. All falcons should be white, and all penguins should be black. That's how Gretches work. Same as all country gentlemen should be orange. That's it.
Encores, quick escape, distraction, smoke bomb, whatever it takes, Michael Krause.
Usually, it depends. Done with a guitar synthesizer. Damn it, Jim. That doesn't help me.
Wow, what kind of art? That must have been like a Roland guitar synth or something. Because that's like, what year was that? 79? Something like that. Wow.
Yeah, it was early. Well, late, sorry.
Yeah, that would be very early. Done with a guitar synth.
Paisley Penguins are sweet, though, Billy. I agree. And Charles agrees 100% with me. Thank you.
Washburn.
When Mike Thompson made it, Washburn made a Falcon. It was actually pretty nice. Easy there, Mike. We don't want to ban you. All right? It's just what I'm saying. Actually pretty nice. And I'm just going to throw it out there, folks. If you haven't already checked out Rob's channel here, he's been putting out some content of all kinds, shapes, and flavors. Oh, look at that. There's a Bass 6 demo. Perfect.
There you go.
Not enough Bass 6 content out there. And I can say that because I did a Bass 6 setup video a couple years ago. You may remember, Rob.
It was nightmarish.
It's pretty much the number one video for Bass 6's setups because there aren't any. Nobody has taken the time to video setting up a Bass 6 except for me.
You can't get
and they're like, where'd you get the specs? And I'm like, I don't know. Try to set up as close to a hot rod guitar as possible. You know, what's the neck relief? Same as a guitar.
Yep.
Or as close to it without buzzing. Speaking of badass bass players, Michael B!
Hey!
And 3J Music is here as well. And Mark Spurgeon.
Fighting off yet another cold, so apologies to the people in the chat.
I used to like Rickenbackers, Steve. Until I discovered Dave's World of Fun stuff. And his sheer loathing of Rickenbackers of all shapes and sizes has turned me off Rickenbackers to the point where I don't even want to own one, Rob.
One of the first basses I ever set up was my friend's Rickenbacker. And I thought, I have to be doing this wrong. Like, there's no way this is right. And then saw Dave like 10 years later. And I'm like, oh my God, that's actually how you have to do it. You actually have to physically bend the thing, have somebody hold it in place, or, oh my, it's the finest in 1964 technology. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, somebody's got to make a wrench for this thing because you can't get a normal wrench in there. So I just dremeled the hell out of the one wrench I had. What did Dave do? Dremeled the shit out of a wrench. I'm like, wow, this is... Oh, here we go. We got a Richard.
Well, okay, first of all, who paints lacquer on a rosewood fretboard? Strike one. In 12 strings, you have to put the octave high strings on the top so you can pluck them. Otherwise, they're hiding behind the other strings. All right? What else? Nobody asked for mutes on guitars. Nobody ever asked for that. Oh, you got the one note, tears your 12 string into a 6 string. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because I can't bend the note. So there's that. Rich Nagamitsu is here, and he says, what mods do you do for a Bass 6? I don't. I
had to do some mods to get mine to sort of stay in tune after the trem. What I did was I put a different bridge on it, actually. And then I put I put surgical tubing on the rods on the bottom of the tailpiece to reduce the play a little bit. Now, the one that I got during COVID, and quality control was not great with Fender at that point, as many people can attest. So I had to replace the nut on it. The nut was pretty bad. But the big thing on the Bass 6 is really the bridge. The tailpiece is not the issue. It's getting enough play in the bridge, but not having too much play. And that's the biggest part of it. Once you've got that, and change the strings. I don't know what kind of strings Squire puts on the Bass 6, but they are awful. get some roto sounds, or get labellas, get something.
At least in Canada, it's really hard to find strings for a bass 6, so that's why I sold it before I had to change the strings.
Like
the
John
voice of Cornhole has arrived. What's up, Donnie?
Hey, like John Atwell with the Dannies.
Says lost track of time because you're busy searching for tone. And for those who don't know, our friend Brian here at Search for Tone discovered the quality company known as UPS, or as I call them, DHP. Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, and Steve, you joke about a guitar with a tape deck in it, but we were browsing Reverb the other night. We actually found a guitar with a built-in tape deck in the guitar.
Well, why that did not catch on?
I believe backing tracks came with it,
of course,
on a cassette in a guitar. Yeah,
exactly, Michael Krause.
Jazzmaster Bridge with super heavy strings creates some issues. I'd say Jazzmaster Bridge with any gauge strings creates some issues. I don't like a bridge that does this when I use the trem, because how does it zero out? It doesn't.
It kind of does. It kind of does. It zeroes out in the neighborhood. It's like an early GPS. Yeah. It'll get you onto the street.
Like, hey, my intonation's out. But it's consistently out across all the strings. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, John Shane. Great to see you, Brother John. All right, Ferd's back, full of bean soup. Nice. Right. I don't think it was a Casio. I'm waiting for Matt to show up because he was the one that found it, and he'd remember maybe. Yeah, well, I should wait for Matt to show up because we have to discuss him when he arrives, Rob, because... Oh, yeah, there's a reason. And, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yes, folks, if you haven't already, please check out Rob's channel. Yeah. Charles and I have thrown a link into the chat there, and
yes. I will be having a new
subscribed. You greedy bastards.
You greedy bastards. The greedy bastards, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you telling me that all 55 of you have subbed to Rob? I don't think so.
They may have. I have a grand total of 91 subscribers. It's it's a very elite group. It's a very elite
group, Charles. And Lawrence says hello to anyone he missed. Yes.
Hello, Lawrence.
Lawrence been searching out the Robin Ford songs, go figure, with the Bedlam release, which mine is maybe what? Can't talk about that till tomorrow. What? No. Here's Zach Thong.
Hey, Zach.
So yes, I just need to know from Lawrence if I actually have a month that I can not have to put aside money for a pedal, because
what fun. There's always other bills.
Yeah, Hip, you were there. But Hip's like, don't count on my brain for memories because I huffed a lot of aluminum fumes while welding. I'm like, all right, fair enough, Hip. But I'm curious.
Rodney Crowell. Let's go. Wayne McConnell. Ooh.
Oh, Wayne. First of all, the 2000 Escalade that still had a tape deck. What the hell is that? You'd think it'd have a CD player by 2000.
You would think.
Nothing new planned for May. Sweet. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. All right, so he's like, start saving your shekels for June, though.
Yeah, that's what that means. Long
plan,
summer.
Anyways. All right, you can re-release something. That's fine. I think maybe.
Oh, Michael Krause.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
You're wait, no. Now Mike's making the assumption that it's the only guitar that ever came with a cassette deck.
Oh, the universe isn't that kind. That's a bad idea that I'm sure a lot of people had. I can't see that being a one-off. No. Mm-mm.
I'm afraid to Google search guitar with built-in cassette deck.
Yeah, that could get weird.
I'm just going to pin this for a moment. So I'm going to come back to that. There we go. Have a little feature built in the StreamYard so people can pin comments. What's up, Joe Burgara? It had both. Okay, that makes sense. Both the tape deck and a CD player in the Escalade.
Oh,
multimedia. That's the pretentious Cadillac thing. They're like, fuck it, we'll throw in an 8-track player even though it's 2000 just for variety.
Guitars do not come with pagers anymore. You're correct, Steve Cassidy.
Yeah, that's true. Although if you held your cell phone close to some guitars, it makes that sound.
It does.
Hey, Ryan. Good to see you, my friend.
Synonics. Never even don't remember that one. Synonics.
That just sounds so 80s.
It does. Alan Holdsworth in the ad. I just picture that. Synonics.
Work biscuit. Richard Nagin was, I want an amp with a built-in turntable.
Yeah. We all thought it.
Yep. That's what I said. Hello, Rad Fury 23. Long time Know Your Gear viewer, first time band Coombs viewer. Never would have thought the Coombs man himself was sitting there with the devil's lettuce in his hand. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right. Handheld forest fire, even. Some people might call it. Good to see you. Welcome. Just need a match pack. So, yeah, but there was no rewind on the 8-track. That's the problem. That's the problem. I prefer to call this a jazz cigarette because that's how close I get to jazz.
Yeah, hard to avoid the jazz if you're a bass player, though. All the gods came out of there, you know.
Yeah. No, believe me, I would love to. Watch any Bukovac video. You know what I mean? He's not playing jazz, but just the way he phrases chords. I'm like, where are those chords? Where are those chords?
Oh, I remember the syntax, Michael Krause. That was one weird-looking thing.
There's William De Silva. 58 people watching. Good crowd. Right. Please hit the like if you haven't already. Of course, please subscribe.
This makes me nervous.
Yeah. There's Mark Taft. See, this just consistently rolling. It's almost like there's like door people. They're like frisking and metal detectors. And of course, they're like, woo! Because we're all metalheads. You have any metal on you? Yes. What? Jewelry. Piercings, perhaps. Who knows?
Yep, the 8-tracks would do that. Usually during the drum solo, so usually nothing useful was lost.
No, exactly. Still no Matt, so I can't throw him under the bus yet. That's fine. There's brother Tom.
I think you're more of a sage than a scribe, Bent Tom. You've got the beard for it. I think you're a sage more than a scribe. That's how I see you.
I don't know. He's been kind of clean shaven lately, so.
Maybe you are
wizardly anymore. Although he does look less homeless.
That's good.
So there is that. Just got home. Well, that's cool, Tommy. All good.
No longer homeless.
Right.
Jazz, death metal, hey. Higher education. That's what it's for.
Skolnick. Ask Alex Skolnick. It's all the same.
I think Chris Poland from Megadeth do all this weird jazz stuff now too, I think.
Possibly.
I think. Yeah, my daughter wants to see the Minecraft movie. That will be a mom thing.
So I may be doing show for duty. I just thought my sister may be taking Sam to see said movie. Hey, Scott Sanders.
Signed pick guard. Cool.
And Tom lives in a mansion. We see his background. Apparently, Chris now gets the Bedlam pedal. He didn't get it at first, but now he gets it. Well, see, I did some research on it, which was when it came out. I watched videos about it, and so I watched RJ, and I'm like, well, it sounds good. Didn't tell me a fucking thing about it. Use your words, RJ. You do sometimes in videos, and other times you don't. It'd be nice if a fella, So then I watched Sean Tubbs, and he's like, did a fella know there's internal trim pots to adjust stuff? I'm like, a fella didn't, but a fella does now, so that's good to know.
Had a question from Richard Nagamitsu asking me what amps I am using currently, and I guess that's a good segue.
Yeah.
I am currently pulling out all my old big, like early 2000s rigs because I'll pull this out in a second. We'll do a little bass unveiling tonight. I filmed an unboxing video for it, but I'm going to do a full walkthrough of this bass with like actual editing, put an actual effort into it.
Ooh.
When I'm pulling out my whole amp rig, I'm going to be running my Carvin head into my PV410 for one of the sound clips. And then I'm going to run my Mark VI bass head into a Hartke Twin 15 that I picked up when Sam Ash went down.
And it is all to demo. I'll show it to you now.
Yes.
Bass
Folks, we got 60 people watching. Hit the like if you like bass. MBD, new bass day thing.
New bass day. 3 years.
Ooh, look at that. That's different.
3 years
It looks
in the
like something
making.
John Entwistle would have played in 1974. I'm just saying it, Rob.
It does. It does. This is a JD Roadie. JD Roadie 2 active from the good folks at JD Bases in the UK. Only a year past estimated delivery time. And it is just a wondrous, wondrous, wondrous thing.
Wow.
Look at that headstock. Look at that.
Badass. And it's volute free.
It is volute free. The Supernatural bass. JD Custom Guitars, England.
Nice. I like how they go through a little extra paint there right before the headstock. Like that's load bearing paint or something.
It's load bearing. It's actually it's metal paint. Yeah, it gives it strength. Nice. We got the pickup height adjustment Allens in the back, which I love because I don't have any screws to get my nails caught on. It's
right.
18 volts. Ebony fretboard. Those are custom wound pickups with wood covers.
Yeah, it's like only on a bass will you see pickups like that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I'm hoping this will pick it up when I show it.
I love the mass factor of that bridge too.
It is neat. The individual tail.
Because you cannot have enough mass on a bridge.
Oh God, no. The bridge and tail.
And I like the way the tailpiece. It looks like fairly. You might have to put a little kink in the end of the string, but you might not. I don't know. You'll find that out due to cursing the first time you do a string change. But
I will do so.
It's got about as much digicals there as a Tyler guitar. Jesus.
Yeah, it has some quality.
Well, where do you think he got it from, right? They're like, oh, Tyler guitars. Look, they do all these things. Every bass builder's like, yeah, your point. You know, it's an onboard preamp. Your point. Yeah, totally John Entwistle, right, Tom? Like that's what it just. I'm just picturing John Entwistle playing so.
Oh yeah.
William is asking what type of pickups they are.
So they are hand wound, handmade, custom humbuckers from the good folks at JD, and you have this rotary switch. It's got off, which I love. It actually turns off. Yeah, these guys were kind of competing with Alembic in the UK. Alembic was the Phil Lesh. Yeah. Then in position 1, we've got that's the bridge pickup only. Then we got both pickups, neck pickup only. Then we've got the top knob being the master volume, lower chrome knob being the master tone.
There we go.
There you go. And the little tiny mini switch there is, in fact, the active passive. Then we have 3-band EQ, bass, mid, and treble with detents. And it's hard to see, but they got these little mother of pearl inlays.
What's up, D?
On the knobs.
Jeez.
Okay. And it just plays phenomenally well. I haunted these people constantly. Andrew Diggins from JD Bases, so I guess is running the show since John passed away about a year ago. Haunted the poor man. But they did brilliant work. This is by far the best bass I own.
Right, Lawrence?
It is just awesome. I did the unboxing video for it, but I'm going to do a full length, like edited, put some time and effort.
In many ways, it seems rather timeless and dated at the same time because it could have come out in the 70s, or the 80s, but it's also timeless in that respect. Like people say, like Phil Lesh playing something like that, or like say John Entwistle. That was my first thought, but it was nothing modern. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, no, that just looks like
it's so slick.
It's like it reminds me more of something someone recreated as opposed to just created, but in a good way.
Yeah, no, it's I first saw these years and years and years ago, and I first started playing. A friend of mine got this like Musicians Institute video where Jocko did a clinic there, and of course, being Jocko, didn't want to haul a bass with him, so he just grabbed some instructor's bass, which was this JD. And this is from like 85 or so. And he's like motoring around on this thing. And it was like the slickest looking bass I ever saw. I just thought it was incredible looking. And then we're on with Steve from Boston a couple of years ago on one of the chats. And it was when that woman was Truesdale or whatever. She was like Prime Minister of the UK for 10 minutes and tanked the whole economy.
Right.
And he's like, you know what? If you're ever thinking about getting anything from the UK, now would be the time to do it because the pound just crashed. And I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And this ended up costing, with a hard shell case, shipping, and all the fun stuff, way less than you would expect.
Right.
Let me let's just say that.
Yeah.
So it is competitively priced for what you would pay for a Kiesel. It actually comes in under most Kiesel bases, and Kiesels are great. So
you say so. I refuse to say that. You
well,
can say
he's a vile human being. I have I do not value Jeff Kiesel at all.
They sell directly to the public. Why are they at NAMM? Damn it. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Because Jeff's a rock star.
Until I get a call from Jeff, stating as to why.
Yeah.
Bo,
because
Bo was asking what Carvin amp head you have, because he heard Carvin and he got all horny, I guess. So that's the way Bo is with Carvins. So what Carvin head do you have?
So I picked up one of their Carvin bass heads back when they were going out of business. It's just one of their 400 watt. It's a solid state head with the built-in bass preamp. Yeah, and the balanced out. So I'm going to run that into my PV410 for one of the sound samples I'm going to do. And then I'm going to, like I said, run my PV Mark 6 into the Hartke cabinet that I picked up. It's a Twin 15 ported. I picked it up for like literally $100 free shipping on it when Sam Ash was shutting down. And they were just, all my bass amps have been purchased from either Carvin going out of business or Sam Ash shutting down. I miss Sam Ash so much. I got so many great deals from them, just blowing stuff out. So sad to see them go.
Right. Oh Jesus!
I have played.
Wow, Mike.
I played Dan Electro basses, and just no. I'm with Ben on that particular bandwagon. It's like
I prefer a bass you can actually intonate. I'm just saying.
It's like I can't even tune this thing. It's like this is a piece of masonite, and I think I have like 26 frets or something. The Dan Electro Longhorn. I'm like,
right.
I love 2-octave necks.
The most anemic
26
pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But it has a sound. Yeah, a sound of cheapness.
And if they were cheap, that's fine. I would.
Yeah, if they were, but they're not now, right? Like a Longhorn bass, you're paying hundreds of dollars for.
Oh yeah,
it's just there's no there.
Oh yeah, it's like if that costs as much as a Mexican jazz bass, no. So, but yeah, I mean, much as I hate to give kudos to the Kiesel idol that is Jeff, the Vader bass is really, really nice. I have not played their guitars, so I don't know. But the Vader headless is a nice effort. I mean, they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it could not. That whole Tic Tac bass thing, I never really. That was Dan Electro's niche.
Yeah, you're up to 96 subscribers now.
Yay! We're almost in 3 digits. All right,
Yay.
I get to keep the cover, so that's like
four more folks.
$500. Yeah, I have to really sit down and shoot the rest of the unboxing video with this thing. I'm just gushing like a schoolgirl for the first 10 minutes of the unboxing. It's just shameful bass toadying coming from
me. I need to get out on Tuesday to shoot videos, so I have a video for Wednesday. Otherwise, it's going to be Soda Pop Saturday on a Wednesday. Just saying. Chris asks, does Rob own a Warwick? I heard that company makes quality instruments.
Warwick, they make really good stuff. They mainly make the licensed designs of the Spectre bass that Ned Steinberger designed. That's kind of their big thing. Warwicks are crazy expensive, and the one thing about them I don't like, and I don't know why they do it, you ever look at the headstock of a Warwick, particularly its 5 strings? There's always a real sharp break on the B string or the E, and I don't know why. Yep. It just, it's a problem.
Rumor has it too, they enjoy putting volutes on their instruments.
They are known to do volutes. But I actually
thing on an instrument ever.
Yeah, I actually like. I did a video on the one I own a few months ago. I like another German builder called Sandberg a little bit more because the quality is at the same level of Warwick, but they're a bit cheaper because they're just not as big a company, and they do some neat stuff. Like they do some neat. They like have their version of the John Entwistle Fenderbird, the Explorer body with the sort of precision neck on them. They have a version of that that's really slick. So I'm kind of like the underdog guy, you know. Instead of getting a wall base, I got a JD, you know, and I you know, the Warwicks are really, really nice, but I just kind of like the Sandbergs a little bit more. But the Warwick bases, and they're crazy expensive. I mean, that one that Phil has, the 32-inch scale, that's like a $7,000 base, I bet. Whatever deal they cut him a big one because that's a pricey proposition. The only short scale I have, Dastardly Dave, is the Squire Base 6. I'm not a big short scale fan. It just kind of flops.
You're a full-size person.
I'm a full-size person. Yes, I'm a full-size person.
Short scale bases are for short scale people.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why they exist.
Yep. Yeah, the Ergodynes are actually pretty good.
Actually, short scale bases are for short scale people
with short scale minds. So now, having said that, there's a guy out in Chicago, Sarek, his name is. They're expensive, but his short scale bases are just magnifique. I like his 32s. Chicago Music Exchange is a dealer for him. They're really great though. Sarek, Serek, and he does mainly 32s and 30s, and they're awesome. You know, I don't use a lot of stomp boxes. The only
that's
thing
what you say to the pedal builder. Break his heart.
I know. I mean, I use a little bit of chorus that's like built into the head more than anything else.
Right.
I tend to use a parametric equalizer more than a compressor. You can kind of get them to do both, and I'm just used to it because most of the amps that I've owned are.
I know. That's subtle,
very, very subtle, very subtle.
Welcome to the world of Dark Rob.
There you go. But the fuzz, I'll do a video on this at some point. I've got an acoustic 360 clone.
There he is.
Has a fuzz. Oh, he's here. He's here. He's been
see that bus coming down the street, Matt?
Uh-oh.
It's coming momentarily. Yes.
But yeah, the acoustic 360, I think that had kind of the most usable fuzz of any fuzz I ever goofed around with. And I did a video a few months ago. They were guitar demos, but I farted around with a couple guitar fuzzes that are pretty good. So
I like that. Okay, so first of all, Matt, do you remember the name of that or model guitar that had that cassette deck in it that we saw? Please, we need to talk about that. Also, Sans Amp Bass DI. Hell yes or hell yes?
Oh, they make great stuff. Now I use a passive Whirlwind direct box, just real generic, but the Sans Amp stuff is great. They make great gear. They really do. So it's very hard to go wrong with any of their stuff. I just prefer the passive ones.
We should tell Lawrence that apparently the going rate for a nice drive A is approximately $200 US.
Ooh,
well, $197 because Matt, instead of putting in an offer for $30 off, he hit 3 and then send. So of course the guy accepted the offer for $3 less. Yeah, just saying. And then he played it. He's like, "Oh, this is awesome." Yeah, no shit.
I think it's, and Joe, you had a question. Decent amp for bass. You know, it's hard to do bad picking out like a small kind of like 50-watt bass combo. The one thing I can tell you to avoid, like the plague, the horrible in-house Guitar Center brand acoustic amps, they are absolute garbage.
Well, don't say Casio something, Matt, because that's what Mike said. We don't want him to be right. If you say Casio E5 or something, or ES5,
chaos will ensue.
EG5.
But some of the smaller Ampegs are great. The smaller Heart keys are good. The Fender Rumble series, I'm not a big fan of, but there's nothing wrong with them. They work really well. I think when you get over, Michael Krause is voting Casio. It's
yeah, but not. He hasn't mentioned the model yet, Mike. You're like, oh, there's only one. All right, is there? The last offset you can find went well. Yeah, that that's the delay. We're talking the Nice Drive A, which is a fella's signature pedal, no longer available. So they're just the demand is huge apparently. So
all the PV stuff, even though I don't like the foreign made PVs, to be honest with you, I've got a
the
basement
classic
full of
TNT
PV
150.
combos.
I always like the classic TNT 150 combo. Like
you can get, like anything else PV, you can get the USA made combos all day long. I've got a PV Basic 60 with a single 12 that I use for a lot of my demos. I've got 2 PV TKO 65s. They have a parametric and a single 15. There's some good stuff you can get out there. Dark glass stuff is wonderful. I see Chris in there.
Actually, I don't even have to do anything here. This is great. You are so active in the chat. I just sat back. I don't even have to direct questions.
Oh, dark glass is awesome. Their cabinets are wonderful.
Dark Rob likes dark glass. Go fucking figure.
Yeah, they're like Swedish or something. Their heads are good too, but it's their cabinets. I played through like a 410 and a 210 of theirs. Oh, they were phenomenal. Their amps are really good too, but their cabinets were just pristine. So they're not easy to come by.
Yeah, Casio made more than one model with a cassette deck. I don't want to live on this world anymore. Yes. Of course, Tom being such an amp guy, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they're really well thought of too. Oh God, 600 watts in a 4x10. The 4x10 I can see. I don't know if you need the 600 watts even.
No. That's what you need is 400 and a DI out to the board. That's what you do.
Oh, hey Randy, I actually did a video that a year or so ago. Lucas and Martin asked the same question. Any good PJ bass would really work great. Like any of the Squire, kind of with the jazz neck, the P bass pickup in the neck, and the jazz in the bridge. That'll work fine for you. You know, I mean, they're really indestructible. Your PJ bass can kind of be used for everything.
That's my favorite, the PJ, because I like P basses over jazz, but I like the jazz pickup, but I like the P bass neck, so it's a PJ all day long. Plus, I'm not as big on the offset body. I want the more symmetrical P bass body. 300
watts will loosen drywall. I had an old acoustic 360 cabinet, 300 watts, that would do it. Richard Nakamitsu is right. Yeah, I like the 410 as my favorite too. I just want to hear what this JD bass sounds like through a Twin 15 with a tweeter. I'm just kind of curious. So
I don't remember how much wattage my bass amp was, because for those who don't know, I actually was trying to learn bass before I switched to guitar. And if anyone remembers, like longtime viewers, if they ever remember at my old house, there was like I lived at the end of a road that I'd walk up to a main road and then to go check the mail and stuff. Well, the school bus would let you off at the end of that road, Rob. That's what I'm saying. And my sister got off the school bus because me being in high school and her in public school, high school got home. Oh, fuck, Matt. God damn it. You got him on right. You win this time, Michael Krause. You win this time.
Oh, and
and my sister got off the bus and immediately heard bad bass playing,
but she heard it
400 meters
and
I think the length of the road. No, 200 meters at least. I don't know, but I was inside and the windows weren't open, and it was
Oh, but task to answer Lawrence
with an El Degas P bass knockoff.
El Degas,
yes.
That sounds like a bistro. We went to El Degas Friday night because they had a great calamari appetizer. It was
El Dega.
El Dega.
They did out in Japan.
El Dega.
They were like Ibanez. They did a lot of clone stuff. The great thing was a lot of their shit came with DiMarzio pickups.
Wow.
Yeah, they were early adopter of that. What's up, Islander Winder? Good to see you. What else popped in here?
Oh, and to answer Lawrence's question, I do like having the tweeter as an option, but you make a good point. Like a lot of times I won't use the tweeter because you just get crossover noise. That is one of the things with the tweeter. You do get crossover noise. But yeah, I've never needed more than I think my biggest, not now, the acoustic was
410 and a 15. You need everything.
Both of them. Yeah, the 410 and the Twin 15.
Yeah.
I think 250 is the most I ever had. 300, I think, was the acoustic 360, and that was just nightmarish. That was so loud but fun. That was fun.
There's such thing as too loud.
Okay. Yeah, I saw in the chat too. Someone has the 40th anniversary Squire Jazz. That's really nice. I bought the 40th anniversary P bass. They were giving them away. It was like $269. So I thought, what the hell? And it was one of the few basses I sold. I sold it to a student of mine. It was just the neck on that was just like a baseball bat. It was the widest, most rounded P bass neck I'd ever felt. And it was just immense. I could do nothing with it. It felt bigger than my PVT 40 neck, and that's going a ways. So the Jazz Bass 40th anniversary Squire was definitely the better call than the P bass.
No doubt, right?
That was nightmarish. I was
someone's up to 98 subs, and there I just put a link to Rob's channel again there. If you're joining late and haven't subscribed to Rob, definitely check it out.
2x18.
Semi-regular at the Water Buffalo meeting, so schedules allow and such. It's always fun time.
Oh, I could see that through playing dub and playing ska and reggae. 2x18-inch. Yep, I can see that. Oh, GK stuff is great. That was like the 90s rig to have, the one that Michael Krause is talking about.
Right.
The 400-watt GK head, and you get the 210 Hartke aluminum and the 115.
I figured Glenn, being a fellow Canuck, remembers El Degas. Because that was what that was everything you found a lot. There must have been a lot of dealers in.
Well, Richard,
you're driving old PVT 40.
How's your spine? Yeah. And how's your spine? Everybody's
Play it sitting down, Rick. Play
it sitting down, and make sure it has the original knobs on it. For some god awful reason, those knobs go for like $40 a pop.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but make sure it has the knobs. Make sure it has the truss rod cover.
The Babbitt's bridges, sure, Joe. Sure.
Oh yeah, Babbitt's. I have a Babbitt's bridge on my Fender Aerodyne Strat has a Babbitt's bridge actually. Oh, we got Eddie Fay asking about the Royal Blood guy. I bought a couple of his albums, and yeah, he's basically playing guitar on bass. Like I thought it was kind of interesting. And then
you've been there, done that.
You get 4 or 5 songs in, and it's kind of like,
yeah.
He's a medium scale guy too, but yeah, he's got more processing on that than like Sheehan's rig in the 90s.
The best bass prominent band ever was the Presidents of the United States of America. I said it. 2 bass players and a drummer.
2 bass players and a drummer. Or anybody remember Mark Sandman from the band Morphine? He was a 2-string slide bass player. That was a weird way to go. So yeah, that was different.
Who's the other? Death from Above? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did that too, Michael Krause. It was insane. Yeah, I had like a 250-watt 410 bass rig. My one guitar player had the Silver Jubilee Marshall stack, the full stack. My other guitar player had the X100 Carvin. And it's like, yeah, after 2 years of that, we all started slimming down.
Yeah.
Fat guy.
You don't need to bring both 412 cabs to the gig.
They did. Yep, Morphine. Yeah, Boston people remember him. Yep.
Well, look at Billy just throwing it. See, you can't tell Billy worked at a record shop. He knows all the bands. Just saying. There
was some other really weird New York hardcore band that had 2 bass players too. It was like Live Skull or Rat R, one of those weird Lower East Side Bowery bands. I remember somebody went to see them, and I'm like, look at this. They had 2 bass players. And I'm thinking, after I heard their music, I'm like, why? They barely need one.
You're like, I'm listening to it, and I don't even hear one bass player. There's 2 people playing on basses, but they ain't bass players.
They ain't bass players. Actually, Mark King plays a JD bass. The top of the line JD bass is the Mark King signature. It's this bass with like a more elaborate onboard preamp and a balanced XLR out. Great thumb player and converted drummer. Great drummer too, actually.
Nice. So again, welcome anyone that's joining in here. We're hanging out with Rob, aka BCRICH581, in the chats, who I've known for years and years.
Yeah, back to the dark days of COVID, way back.
Oh, easy, if not prior.
I think prior to that, because I remember I was looking for. I found Angry Dave from Dave's World of Fun stuff, showing me how to
even like in Steve's chat and Phil's chat, like the OG.
Yep.
We're not.
And you were suggested with this weird tagline, like, since you seem to like, it was like Ontario-based guitar enthusiasts. And I was like, do I? Okay, what the hell? I bounced into that. I was like, okay.
Apparently you do. Who knew?
Foul-mouth bass techs from Toronto. Close enough. I'll take Ontario-based guitar enthusiasts.
Yeah. Zach says one of his favorite bass players plays around in Durham sometimes. Around here, his name's Sean Penhale. Not familiar with him. Cool.
No, not ringing.
Randy's asking, what music are you listening to recently? None. I haven't been. I don't listen to a lot of music these days. I don't know. Like, I don't know, music that's inserted into YouTube videos, I guess. So, non-denominational.
Non-denominational, ecumenical music.
Yeah,
I think Doug Peterson is still playing his 12. Doug Pinnick. I'm sorry, Doug Pinnick is still playing his 12, and of course, what the hell's his name? Jeff Ament trots his out for Jeremy and a couple of other things.
Michael Krause, way to copy Billy's comment from a couple minutes ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Michael Krause. Yeah, Jeff Ament. He's still using the 12 too.
Wasn't it? I thought his.
No, that was a 12. Oh no, he ran out with that record advance. As soon as I heard Jeremy, I'm like, oh, somebody bought a 12 with their record advance. Now we're gonna keep hearing it, So
yeah.
But his is a 12. You really, unless you have an 8 string, you're not gonna tell. There's a little bit of dissonance there that a 12 has, but that's unless you're sitting there playing an 8. So.
Yeah, I guess whatever music I listen to is whatever I'm playing on guitar. So yeah.
Oh, Ben Tom.
Music, I'll just come down here and play guitar, I guess.
Oh, I would do that the second Bent Tom. I'm not even a giant Pearl Jam fan.
Yes, Lawrence, and I pretty much ignored you accordingly. Apparently, yeah, I remember that. We hung out for an hour, and I spoke to you for probably 3 minutes of that hour, where I was brainstorming with Phil about YouTube, and then you had to just stand there and you're talking to JJ quite a bit, I noticed. So. But yeah, and I regretted that because Lawrence is a super cool guy. Yeah, I like Lawrence.
Oh,
well, it's funny because you'll remember BC, as I said, or Rob, that Lawrence, before his LPD Pedals was Lawrence Petros' design, and when I first saw him in Phil McKnight's chat, I thought he was an architect. Just Lawrence Petros' design sounded like an architecture firm to me. Sure.
I thought he was, until I found out what he was, I thought he did like logos. I thought he did branding, I'm like, I was like, oh, this guy does like, the branding for
commercial design.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, he's like the Know Your Gear guy. So he's at a drafting table,
Right. Oh, that's true too, Lawrence. Yeah, and you're polite and nice and stuff. But yeah, I thought architecture firm. I was wrong. Wizard. Yeah. Who knew?
Wizard.
Hey, Corey.
Oh yeah, 10-inch speakers I think are the best. I started out playing with twin 15s, but I think the 10 is the best because even with the low B, the 10s handle the low B pretty well. We had somebody in the chat that had an alembic guitar and let it go for the weight. Oh, alembics are awesome. Guitar.
A guy just put a half stack 412 guitar rig, basically.
Well, when I play that Squire Bass 6, I put that through the PV Delta Blues single 15 I have, that Tube 30, and that thing sounds phenomenal that way. That is just awesome.
I can't go. Maybe you do, yeah, Lawrence. I don't, yeah. Like I said, Wizard.
I see Lawrence doing like shape charges. I taking out buildings and bridges. Like I see Lawrence working with like commercial explosives, the guy who works, small implosions. That's what I'm thinking.
I think he does alchemy. That's how he makes his pedals. There's some kind of alchemy going on.
Hell yes. Everybody likes industrial explosives, including Lawrence.
Right. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please hit that like. Helps a fella out. Of course, the virtual tip jar is always open. Keeps the lights on.
The cat's fed.
The cat is fed for tonight. Yeah, she's good for a week or two. Something I forgot to buy at the grocery store, though. Dang it. I can't remember what the hell it was. Thank you, Charles. Frank Marino live. Nice. Who will restore my noisy Eventide?
I'm sure there's people that'll do it, but it's not going to be cheap, I bet. Same guys who will restore vintage Rockmans.
Lawrence will, but it'll cost you $800 plus parts.
The George Costanza delay.
Lawrence Petros deconstruction. I like that.
Oh, I do like that.
LPD.
Oh, especially now with the 10-inch speakers, you can play with a 2 10-inch combo.
And fun fact, though, when he does destructions, it's not like one of those plungers or a little... It's a foot pedal. It's a foot pedal.
It's a foot pedal. The ultimate kill switch.
Yeah. Cool, Zach. You might run into Mark there. He's down there helping out with the team.
Waboom. The Waboom.
Nice.
I like that.
Why has it got a mushroom cloud on the tread of the wah? You'll see.
Yeah, any vintage electronics like that. I think I remember somebody talked about they had rack gear from Rockman restored, and it was about $800.
Well,
I can't remember.
Must be recalibrated. I'm like, what the hell? It's digital. It's not. Why does it need, like, how does it go out? You know, like, I got a bunch of analog shit. You know what I don't have to do? Recalibrate it.
I mean, it does a thing. I guess it's enough of an attraction at a studio saying, hey, we've got a rack full of vintage Shoals gear if you want to come in and record here. You know, it must be enough of an attraction.
It's not quite calibrated, but it's okay. No, it's noisy as fuck.
But that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 10-inch works great for guitar, too. I mean, it's, the Fender Bassman 10s, they were horrible bass amps. Still are. I mean, they're great guitar amps and were the heart of the Marshall.
Although Princeton sound good if it has a 10-inch or a 12-inch. It doesn't matter. Princeton's just sound amazing.
And Aston Ray's right. You can get, if you do pinched harmonics and stuff like that, they do come out of a 10 a lot better, which is weird because Jocko used that acoustic 360, and I do not know how he got those harmonics to ring like that. Because in the studio, he's going into the board, but live, you still hear it. And it's just through that 18-inch Kerwin Vega to still get those is not easy.
I think Zach's comments are coming in twice. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. Or it's stereo. I don't know.
It's a Rockman effect.
I don't have to have my comment start anymore because he was right.
Yeah. Zach's got.
And just a reminder, I did send out links for post-show hang tonight for the top tier members and patrons because I can't tomorrow night because I have plans after tomorrow's show, which is going to be a little shorter than normal.
But still featuring bad album covers.
Oh, there will be bad album covers with Charles, and then an unboxing, hopefully, as well. And there'll be an unboxing and Charles with the bad album covers, and I'll play some music. And maybe since I'm unboxing, hopefully, a pedal, we might even hear some tones from said pedal. I don't know. Tune in to find out. Ring the bell and subscribe and all that chicanery. And subscribe to Rob's channel as well as mine so we can get Rob to 100 subs.
Yeah,
we're at 98.
We're almost there. A good FM band.
99. Really? Ooh, so close.
Ben Tom brings up a good point, though. I was talking about this on
Hey Johnny.
Dylan Talks Tone a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that there's so few guys left in the market who do electronic upgrades, repairs, and restorations that you might be better off getting all your gear fixed now while whoever the guy is that's still in business, because all these guys are in their like 60s and 70s and they're not passing these jobs down. So it's like, that's a good point. Synth Cube.
Nice. Wow, we've already going an hour. Nice. Just like a good set.
A 19-inch speaker? I have never heard of a 19-inch. Or you mean a 10-inch speaker? It must be a 10-inch speaker, Aston Ray. I guess that's 9's next to the 0. See, I'm good like that.
I'm hoping that's the case.
Although I haven't shot the video for it yet. I have a Nightmare PV guitar here that answers the ultimate question of the 22 or 24 fret guitar. Right. It has 23.
Oh, yeah. Because PV.
Yep. And when you see it, it'll make perfect sense. Yep. I'm like, 23 frets. No one ever asked for that. All right. That's a little different.
Yeah. Hey, Irv. Anodyne Audio Service in Kitchener. Nice.
But that was pre-pandemic. 350 Canadian before the pandemic.
But, okay. There used to be an amp company in Kitchener, too, back in the day. I can't remember what they were called.
A lot fewer amp companies now, too. That's becoming
an amalgamation like anything else, it seems. Yeah. Like, just mergers and acquisitions. But it's funny. You get a bunch of companies that will kind of merge, and then like employees will break off and start a boutique version of the set. It's like, so it's weird. It was like Marshall, right? How many companies like Black Star was Marshall employees?
Yeah. Did Jet City come off of Marshall as well? Jet City came off something, I thought, but I could be wrong.
Jet City is Dr. Z.
Dr. Z. Sorry. So Marshall Design. Okay.
Yeah, because that was his solid state offshore brand, essentially. But he didn't want to call it the same amp company, so he came with Jet City.
That's what it was.
I believe. Oh, or budget offshoot.
Sodano. Okay. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Tom.
I knew Tom would know.
Oh, yeah.
Tom's good at stuff like that. Right, Tom? Right.
You got to get him on with Jimmy Page, too. We can talk tubes and all that good stuff.
Yes, by the way, next week we got Jim, JP Page 2, joining us, and that'll be a bit fun. We're going to talk Price Smith, as well as his recent trip to New York City to see the Brothers Band. Both nights. So that'll be fun. And then the week after that, I believe, is Mother's Day, so Amanda will be joining us. If you don't know who Amanda is, tune in 2 weeks to find out.
I like the last line in Lawrence's chat there. It wasn't designed to be repaired.
Right.
This can't really be fixed. It can only be fixed temporarily.
What's up, Kush?
I don't know, Kush. I'm not that familiar with their stuff. So that could, and keep in mind, just because it's rare doesn't mean it's valuable. I got a rare headless BCRICH bass, and whenever I do the video on that, you'll understand why it's. Ben's seen it.
Oh yeah! That reminded me that bus that was coming for Matt. So possibly late at night shopping while under certain lifestyle choices, we'll say. Matt managed to find, I believe it was a 30-inch scale baritone Gretsch with an Evertune bridge.
Wow.
Yeah. Definitely not factory. So he bought it by accident. And I said, that's disgusting. I'm going to mock you for it. And that sounds like something BC would own, because that's the world of misfit toys right there.
Oh, yeah. That's
a baritone Gretsch with an Evertune.
Evertune. Could you, can you even, I guess they did it. Should they have is a better question. Should they have done it is a better question. But I did not know you could do an Evertune bridge on a baritone. That's, wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I had it. I guess the weirdest drunk buy I ever did, and I'm happy I did it, was my Illuminati aluminum bass neck with a graphite. I bought that because I was sick of adjusting the necks on my PV foundation bases. I was on my third or fourth one of those, and I'm like, I wonder if I got like an aluminum neck. Like, what does an aluminum neck run? And never at the whole process thinking, hey, how much gigging are you doing in a humid environment anymore? But that was a cool drunk buy, and did a video on that. And now they're way more money than I bought. So weirdly enough, it worked out. So
yeah. But yeah, whenever I see a true abomination, I think of you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I like anything that looks good on paper that you still keep doing even after you start realizing this looked a lot better on paper.
Yeah.
But you're committed to it. You're committed to it. Like, and even stuff I'd never buy just because it's too expensive to be even enticing to me. Like that salad fork lever on the Rickenbackers, you can turn your 12 into a 6. That's a good piece of technology. Like to me, that is the best example of a bad idea that they never stopped, yet had every opportunity to do so. It's like giant metal lever in the middle of the guitar that mutes and pulls and yanks 6 of the strings out of the way. You don't think that's going to detrimentally affect intonation, tuning, action, stability? Okay.
I want to think about it.
How much metal would be in an Evertune 12-string bridge? I just want to see that.
That's a lot of engineering.
That's a lot of engineering.
All right. Some Dave dude. What's up, bud? A 1964 Demian VN4 electric baritone.
Wow.
I think it's got like 4 pickups, a lot of switches and knobs and dials and
yeah, like an old Hagstrom from the 60s. That's what I'm picturing too.
Yeah, some
like
crazy
an old
Tysco-y abomination.
Yep. Tuning in the neighborhood.
A little pinstriping on it too.
Tuning in the neighborhood. You're not going to get precise tuning. You'll get tuning in the neighborhood.
Approximation. Oh, you want to play above the 5th fret? No. Well, these guitars weren't meant to be played above the 5th fret.
What would be the point?
And really, we just radiused off one part of a baseball bat for the neck.
There you go.
It's just as thick at the nut as it is at the heel. It's like, oh, great.
I remember.
Never truss. Better not. There's no truss rod.
Right. There you go. I remember at a vintage shop. I can't remember where it was. It might have been Chicago Music Exchange. They had this dead mint original Bill Wyman teardrop Vox place. Oh, see you, Lawrence.
See you, Lawrence.
Bye-bye. And I remember playing that, and oh my God, it was just awful. Just awful. I was like, and then I kind of realized if this thing is dead mint from like 1965, probably wasn't that good a build to begin with. So, but it was dead mint. It had the tags and everything, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It was awful. Now I played a bunch of pre-CBS precision basses, jazz basses. They're nice. They're not $10,000 nice, $12,000 nice. That's just freaking crazy.
Well, sometimes, yeah. I know it's hard to put them down though.
I guess I don't know. I don't.
I get it. I can't afford it, but I get it. Like I'm still thinking of that 57 Telly I played at Carter's because it had a V-neck like a Martin guitar, but on a Telly, and it was pretty beat up. Well, but it was beat up as my dad's guitar. And I'm looking at the price, and it was like a little over $20,000. And I went, yeah, it's worth every bit of it, but damn, I can't afford it.
Yeah, maybe it's different for guitars, but the pre-CBS, the basses I played a couple of each of them, and I'm like, eh. Oh, I remember those Michael Kraus. I never saw them, but I remember the ads for them, the Novatone fingerboards. Yeah, they were like big magnet fretboards. They would chisel off your fretboard, put on a piece of, what was it, like aluminum, I think, or stainless steel. Mm-hmm. And you would like magnet with the magnetic surface, it would stick there. It was awful. Oh, that was
a bad idea with the Gibsons with the electronic auto tuners. The idea was good. The follow through was not. Like the practicality, because I remember like I'm gonna say when they first came out was like early mid 90s, Rob. Like as soon as they came out, I was at the local dealer and he's like, "Man, have you seen this?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Check it out." And he's just like strumming, oh, you want to go to open G tuning? Boom, blah, 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 and I was like, fuck, that's a brilliant idea if you're playing on stage. So handy because I don't think tuner pedals existed even yet. So it was like it was pre that, and
well, I think they
it's Cousin Doug, Down Back Cornhole Podcast.
I think they cheaped out because I remember reading about the early ones and they said they were a much different design. Like they were on that Les Paul Robo only, and they were really expensive. I mean,
if you haven't already, subscribed to Down and Back Cornhole Podcast, folks. I'm just saying.
Oh God, a Gibson bass with robot tuners. Yeah, those tuners would have to be huge. The engines on those things. Oh, the servo. You can hear it grind.
Yes, Zach. I believe they're doing. I think, isn't it like there's a big training thing going on west of us? Like it's a couple towns west, but it's like involving 1,000 troops. So it's like a big mock disaster response thing. So like, don't be surprised. Look, we're not being invaded. Don't be surprised if you see a whole bunch of troops walking down the roads and this and that. There's my sister Amanda. She's going to be on in a couple of weeks for Mother's Day because she's a mother, all right. Oh, she's a mother. Oh. What? No, to.
And someone will bring back the Robo Tuner. That's an idea that won't die. Someone will come up.
My sister doesn't like being in Charles' chat because I have a wrench and she doesn't. It's like what? It's just like childhood. I'm bigger than you. Thank you, Charles.
That's what you do. Aftermarket DeWalt cordless drills and convert them into auto tuners.
Right.
Terry has an update on robot hookers. I'm not sure what news feed he's on, but okay.
It's a Google search I'm not getting into.
Yeah, that could be hard to explain.
Also, Brian does a show on Wednesdays, folks. If you have no life, about approximately 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. Just saying.
I have my only webinar every week, Wednesday at 7. I never am able to make his
He
chat.
likes these, I don't know, jungle website guitars and stuff. I don't know. It's not my thing. But I get it. They're affordable. I don't know. I've become a snob at this point, Rob. I realized because I've been playing guitar for 35 years. It's okay. It's not good. But you usually tune in and give it a thumbs up, pop in. And it's just, I used to play cheap guitars and now I've played nice guitars. And guess what? Nice guitars are better. And I want nice guitars. Yes, Eddie. Unless you're at a Buffalo meeting, then you're one of us. Well, actually, Eddie's membership appears to have expired, so he's not one of us anymore.
But he soon will be. I have every confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need a new channel member tonight. Or a patron would be nice. Robot hookers with blackjack and booze? Sure, Mike.
And rocket packs. Got to have rocket packs. I don't know why.
Lasers.
And lasers. I don't know why. I just want the rocket packs.
Yeah, I don't think rocket packs and lasers are going to be good for the robot uprising. That's kind of on us. Oh, look at my sister high-fiving Doug. What's up, cuz?
I think the flip side of it is, I bought an Epiphone SG, a really beat up one, for not much money to find out if I'd like an SG.
Nice guitars are nicer. That should also be on a t-shirt. Nice guitars are nicer.
And when I got done farting around...
If there was a custom t-shirt shop locally, I'd be in there weekly.
But I had an Epi, a really beat up Epi SG.
I gotta address this.
Oh, God.
Or care, Doug. Or care.
Oh.
And Michael Krause throwing out a Futurama reference. Ooh, impressive.
Well, much,
He doesn't get out much. I caught it, so that doesn't say much for me either.
No, I thought it was funny because Mike and we much like you and I have gone back and forth over the years, like, in chats, and so fortunately, unfortunately on the face space, I'm friends with Mike, and Mike's wife likes to take him out and do activities and tag him in said activities. So he's out there the other day for Earth Day cleaning up litter. And, I said at the end of every show, don't litter. And there's Mike cleaning up litter. So I saw we were in Charles' channel. Oh, that's wonderful. I saw you, Mike, clean up that litter there. I assume it was court ordered, but it's wonderful to see it today.
Everyone's equal in front of the judge. That's not bad under $400 for that PRS. It's weird. I live in Maryland and there are PRS everywhere and I do not own a single one. Like every weird PRS washes up.
Why Bo's like, why am I friends with you? You don't like PRS, you don't like Kiesel, you don't like Taylor. I don't. But we both like Gibsons and Fenders and Gretches. Oh my. What's up, Rock Daddy?
And we're still discussing robot prostitutes in the chat too. That has taken out a life of
its own. We have a bunch of lonely men in the chat.
Yeah, this is all going to end in tears.
Yeah, I'm just like, when I look at the demographics, I which is 99.9% male, and then all the middle-aged men. If there was a loneliness factor, it'd be pegged.
I just think Possum Lodge. It's like, yep, this is a virtual Possum Lodge.
We are, yeah. Well, yeah. Anyone's been to a Water Buffalo meeting, you're like, yep. Minus the chainsaw noises in the back, but other than that,
there you
go. Usually an adequate amount of flannel during the cooler months.
Prostitutes of any circuitry. I like that.
All I want to know is, are they buffered or true bypass?
Oh, there you go.
Right? I can change. Yeah.
I can change.
I have to.
I get change. So no robot subscribers.
Got one of those got robo tuners. It's just a robot comes out on stage, just tunes your guitar.
Runs off.
Like, wow, that seems a little audacious, but sure.
Pet Tom was the white guy. Okay. We have to let one in. Oh, I wouldn't trust a robot with coffee. Making coffee is a very refined art. Takes a skilled hand to do it properly.
Yep. As well to wake him up.
Yes. Yeah, my daughter wants that Minecraft movie real bad. I think that's.
I already said that, Amanda. When it was mentioned earlier, I was like, so I would expect to be chauffeur at some point to take someone to and from a Minecraft movie playing.
Yeah, but don't you think, Richard Nagamitsu, that's kind of getting away from heritage? The whole point of heritage is you're getting something made in Kalamazoo, Michigan, an old Gibson factory, and now you're getting something made, somewhere in Hunan province. They
want to be more like Gibson, so they have their own Epiphone line. Does that have a headstock as well? I'm just saying.
And is that a good niche?
Hey, Johnny, I'm not lonely. I have a dog. Yeah, I have a cat.
The eye roller. Oh, God.
I also have virtual friends I hang out with most evenings of the week.
Well, let's face it. I mean, this is what kept the music community going during COVID. Nobody was gigging, I mean.
Well, and we got to thank Trev, who's absent here, although he could be lurking. It was Trev that, a bunch of you had been patrons and channel members of various levels for some time. But it's Trev who read the fine print. And he's like, hey, Coombs, it says here that there's supposed to be a monthly live stream or hang of some kind, private, just for us. So when does that kick in? Oh, there he is, this brother Trev. He goes, when does that kick in? I was like, so I've been doing this for, let's say, a year and a half at this point. We'd had channel memberships and patronage even longer and stuff. And nobody had bothered to call me out on that. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Well, and then Charles happened to be there, and he's like, a fellow that uses Zoom every day for work, right? And I said, tell me about this Zoom. He goes, I said, how many people? Because that was the logistics. Because all I know is StreamYard, which is limited to 10 people. He said, oh, no, I can have like 100 people. I'm like, I'm not that popular. So that will work fine. Okay. And until we find that day where, whoops, sorry, party's full. You got to be the first 99 to show up. Well, we'll worry about that when we have to figure that out. I don't know. Maybe we'll do an Inception thing. We'll take 99 and then we'll start another Zoom where people start filling in. And it's just 99 in one window of the other one. Ooh, that's a lot. Yeah. So
that is a lot.
But it's a lot of fun, folks. It's like a Possum Lodge meeting. If you don't know what Possum Lodge is, look up Possum Lodge.
Red Green Show. One of the finest hours on television ever.
Great YouTube channel, too, because he's still putting out content. Like rehashing, like, here's a theme. So we'll take all the segments over the years that involve this particular theme. And a rather interesting question. Tom? I'm not sure.
Yeah, Dark Rob does not like hentai. I don't oppose hentai. Fairly certain my spouse would. She put up with enough of my gigging years, probably, and with my 11-year-old daughter wandering around. Yeah, I think hentai is kind of off the table.
Yeah.
But glad we went there. At Dark Theme.
Tom's not big on boundaries.
No, not at all.
I love Tom.
I think it's a Philly burb thing. I've noticed that.
That, and he's died twice already, so he has zero fucks to give. So if he has a question, he'll ask. Red Green's your spirit animal, Billy? I get that. I get that a lot.
It's just that Dark Rob would.
See, that's funny. When that show first came out, I saw that as like my dad and all of his friends.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yep.
And especially, now we'll go way back, Rob, like early years, there's a character, Hap Shaughnessy, who was always sitting in the boat while Red's fishing with the hat, over the eyes. Gordon Pinsent, legendary Canadian actor. I didn't know that at the time because I wasn't aware. But that was my father holding court. Did I ever tell you about the time? You're like, whatever. Yeah. Yep. That was my father, especially with the feathered hair. The hair. I recognize that's the hair.
Oh, that was everybody's dad. Getting all the reels out.
But now we've turned into our fathers in many ways. So yeah, the Possum Lodge is.
I don't do the fishing.
You know what I'm talking about, Amanda. Gordon Pinsent on Red Green was our father. Except more of a bullshitter.
More of a bullshitter.
But he could. Because he would do that. If he thinks you're a bullshitter, he'll right back at you. I do. Yeah, I thought so. We got 64 people watching. Nice. Did Rob hit 100 subs? I think Rob might have hit 100 subs. I'm gonna check.
Now I got to finish the video. Now I'm committed to finishing the JD video and editing
100. Yep, we're 100 on the nose.
Yay.
Don't be a dick holding poser and unsub them now.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be back down to 90. Oh, well, it was good while it lasted.
Yep.
I think everybody's got someone living down the street from them that's a cast member from Red Green. That's just a requirement.
Well, yeah, it depends on which cast member, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that I wonder, especially to American viewers, if you realize like the actual cavalcade of stars that were actually on that show that most people would just think are just some random character actor. Like I'm just thinking like Buddy, I can't remember the character name that had the monster truck. It's fucking Ian Thomas. Like Dave Thomas's brother also did all the music for Strange Brute, as well as Painted Ladies, which was a freaking huge hit in the 60s or early 70s.
Yeah, no, it's very weird what lands an audience in the U.S. Like I was saying to Amanda once, like my daughter, she's grown out of it a little bit, but she was fixated on Heartland, which is something that I think the CBC just runs for the U.S. The show's been on forever. It just has like
blonde-haired girls and horses. As near as I can tell, that's the entire plot of it. It's a ranch.
Heartland.
Yeah, Heartland. Yeah, and it's set out. In
I know, and I only know that because Doug's already laughing. Because when we'd be down south at the NASCAR races, because Buddy worked in telecom, he would set up a satellite feed so we could watch TV in the campsite. Yeah, exactly. Being at a race in Charlotte, and it was like we're all pissed drunk. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and this satellite dish, I don't know. It didn't even get in that many channels type thing because whatever. But we walked by it and we're like, is that fucking Heartland? Like, why is this random CBC produced show?
Oh, yeah. It's huge. In some parts of this country, it is huge. Yeah. Yep.
It's like, wow. Like, I can't believe it's still on the air in Canada.
It's got to be just for the U.S. market. It has to be.
Oh, yeah. That's what's paying the bills. Like,
because the few Canadians I talk to are like, oh, that's canceled. I'm like, oh, contraire. It's not canceled. It's still going. Maybe not in your country, but it's still going. Trust me.
Sort of like the Trailer Park Boys. Like, I didn't understand. I'm like how
I know people that watch it.
Let alone international.
I know people that watch it. I judge them.
My channel, Doug. My crowd. 60 people watching, Doug. Jealous much? Yep. Thank you, Amanda, for putting Rob's channel in there. We got him.
Well, thank you. Yes, we're
it's just, I know people that watch it. I judge them.
I judge them harshly. This is not that different than Little House on the Prairie. It's just like there's trucks, horses, and more death, kind of.
I assume it's shot in Alberta. It just looks like Alberta.
I'm sure it is. And lots of flowing blonde hair. A lot of flowing blonde hair.
Yeah. Saddled by the Scandinavians. Yeah. Thank you, Johnny.
Over 18 countries.
Yeah, fun fact, there's always a romantic horse people drama on in Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm sure if it's not on one of the major networks, you just go to like the Hallmark channel or something like that, or one of those Lifetime network things. Only 18? I'm surprised it's not like 180. I don't get it. I never understood it. I was like, what? It's like watching Jerry Springer just meets reality TV.
I had some friends that were huge into it. I did like the kidnapping of Alex Lyson. That was a nice touch. But other than that, like, I was just like, okay, if this was a trailer park in like Lexington, Kentucky, you wouldn't be watching this. Like, why? Why, if it's in one of the maritime provinces, wherever it's held, why does that make it different?
And also, I think I don't even know if it was read in the U.S., but fucking Anne of Green Gables. We've done like 14 versions of that.
Televised. My daughter is into it, and my spouse was into it. She has the box set. Oh, my spouse loved Anne of Green Gables. Yep, we got it sitting up on CD. I'm like,
Road to Avonlea, which was like the early years of Anne of Green. I'm like, what the hell? CBC?
Yep. Got that too. Yep, got them both. Yep. We've seen.
I'm pretty sure, Charles, I think, he's another one that's pretty much a Canuck. He's just not aware of it. They're just displaced Canucks. Neon Rider. Oh, my God, I do. That was such a bad show.
Melissa Gilbert used to be like a raging drunk.
Did you get a family discount, Doug? Melissa Gilbert used to live near Bow.
And she used to have a raging alcohol problem, man. She was hardcore. So I did not know until I watched the special.
New Brunswick Trailer Park Boys is a documentary. Yeah, go Nova Scotia. Oh. Just saying.
Neon Rider.
We got to go visit Nova Scotia. I'm like, we really don't. We don't. And this is like a Buffalo meeting. We just
yeah. Oh yeah, we've tangented the hell out of this. We've gone in every direction. But this is better than the Android hookers. Now that we're off that, I'm
yeah. Well, you see, now you brought it up. Now the new people are like, what? Android hookers?
An actual trailer park? Wow, I thought that was some painstakingly constructed.
No.
Set.
They ended up actually, because that trailer park went out of business, thankfully. They just bought it because it was literally the shitty trailer park on the edge of a shitty town in Nova Scotia. And then they bought it to use as a film set.
Is that what Melissa Gilbert's up to now? Yeah, makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
I remember you can't do that on television. I remember you can't do that on television. Yeah, that ran on Nickelodeon here. I remember they did like a Where Are They Now? And the one girl on there is like a mortician or something. And I'm like, ooh.
That show ran a long time because it was on on one network, and then it was one like Red Green. Red Green has to set the record. It was on every network in Canada, including cable only, Rob. Like, literally, it started out just in syndication, and then I think it was CTV picked it up for a couple years, then Global TV, another network, then CBC, and YTV, which was like kids, like a Nickelodeon. That because he would just shop it around, like whatever, and it was. But new episodes every year were on at least one channel. It was always on at least one network. And then it ended up being CBC as a prime time, like Tuesday nights at 8. You go, damn. And it was on for 20 seasons or something crazy like that.
Oh, I remember Degrassi High. That people were out with pitchforks and torches because one of the actresses had a kid on there. I remember that.
Because that started out as Degrassi Street.
I don't remember that.
And then it became Degrassi Junior High.
That is what
it was Degrassi High. And then I want to say they tried to do something post, but it didn't really work out. And then they rebooted it. And ironically, Alanis Morissette was the principal of Degrassi High.
I remember one of them died. I caught one of them like on one of those like horrible teen actor tragedy things.
Well, you think there wasn't a lot of money in Canadian TV, so you couldn't afford the excessive drug habits and such.
I guess not. Degrassi, The Next Generation sounds like a Star Trek spinoff. Sorry. If that's what they called it, they needed to call it something else.
Nice, Paul. Degrassi, The Next Generation, right? Like Star Trek.
Well, Ben, Tom, one of them had a kid on the show, so just saying.
An interesting choice of phrase there, Tom.
Yeah.
Banging chicks. Was this 1986? Easy, bud.
That may be the girl I'm thinking of that had the Chelsea cut. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like, Degrassi Street. They were kids. Yeah. And there's a lot of there was some different kids as well, but they were like, I want to say like almost grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, like really young kids. And as well as adult characters as well. And then they kind of went up, sort of like Sesame Street, where you have adults as well as kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember that. It was the junior high and then the high. I remember that. And then all the crap hit the fan when it's like
Degrassi Convalescence Home.
Yeah. Degrassi, do not resuscitate.
Apparently,
Drake came out of that? Huh.
Yeah, Drake in a wheelchair.
Who knew?
The Zit Remedy. Yeah, that was the high school band, the Zit Remedy.
The creepo picked him up. Oh, this is good and dark. About time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've covered some interesting ground tonight. I didn't think we'd get to Degrassi, but we did.
Yeah. I didn't think. Yeah, wow, everyone. Oof.
Yeah.
You can. It would definitely. I can see that at Comic Cons, like Degrassi people showing up and
I'm sure with creepy stalkers in tow. Like I'm sure they still have like creepy stalkers and just. Well, right. we can't afford security for the con, so you'll just have to run.
Well, because they would hear like by some guy they really don't want to hear. You're so hot. It's like when you're 14, you're like, okay. Please tell me you were younger than 14 when you. Oh, the different plays. Jeez, that's just sad. Because I didn't think they had. Well, I guess because you got no other acting careers, you might as well learn to play the instruments and shit. Yeah, Caitlin was the Alyssa Milano of Canada. Totally.
Drake, a.k.a. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, busting out the IMDb knowledge.
Well, the thing is, Zach's young enough; he may have watched the Next Generation.
It was kind of like when I remember I was like, "This is like My So-Called Life, but less annoying." I remember that show. That was awful.
Bases, robot hookers, and Degrassi. Yep, covered it all. Right?
And Possum Lodge. Lodge.
Yeah. Zach's just naming off all the characters now. I love it.
And I'm guessing it's in a notebook. I don't even think he's getting this off the internet. I think he's thumbing through an old loose leaf notebook.
He's counting them off.
He's had it since 8th grade study hall for just this moment. Oh God, My So-Called Life. I'm not a big fan of that. I remember I turned it on once and I'm like, is that Juliana Hatfield? Because Juliana Hatfield was like the ultimate 80s, 90s alterna babe kind of whore. She would show up on anything. I'd turn on Space Ghost, she'd be on there. A Lemonheads video, she was on there, and she showed up as a Christmas ghost on My So-Called Life.
I would not, Amanda. Cousin Lee was. I wasn't on My Secret Identity. I was on E&G, but I wasn't on My Secret Identity.
What is study hall? You know, my daughter starts middle school next year. I'll find out if they still have study hall. That's a good question.
Joe's like, yes, I'm too old for these programs. It's just if you happen to, I don't know, catch a lot of Canadian TV back in the day. So we'll go a few more minutes here, folks. Getting your last moment questions. Ronnie says, I'm not sure I like this version of Ben as the White Oprah. Oh, I've been this way since 2018 since I started. It's like Paul Leonard Ewing. He was the one that dubbed me like in 2018. He's the Johnny Carson of live streams. He has these great conversations. I'm like, well, that's why we have to hang. All right, Randy. Cool.
Bye, Randy.
Witchy's lurking.
I'm pre-Jetsons. Richard Nakavitsu. I'm pre-Jetsons.
Or the Edison twins.
Don't remember that.
You'd recognize the father on it, I think, because he did a lot of American TV as well. I can't remember his name. Character actor that worked both sides, much like Al Waxman, for instance, who was on both sides of the border in shows.
Good
See you, Johnny.
Oh, that was a good one. 321 Contact. Yeah, that was like a global one. I remember friends saying they saw the Spanish version, the British version. It was PBS in the US. I don't know. Maybe there wasn't the Canadian version, but it was like.
Yeah, but I got PBS from the US. That's the thing.
Yeah.
See, that's the weird thing because it's like Canadians lead a double life when it came to television and pop culture because we got all the American stuff that you got. Plus, we had a whole independent Canadian thing happening as well. So unless it bled over to the U.S., which it rarely did, yeah, it's weird that way. It'd be like we didn't even do like Canadian knockoffs. So it was just certain. There was always like one show that was even shot in Canada and for Canadian TV, but happened to be on like Due South was on, I think CBS for years, and that was totally shot in Canada.
I had a friend in grad school, and him and his buddies got, because we had satellite anything at the university. What was it? Some weird, like, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was a Canadian soap opera that I think involved like Native Canadians, like was North of 40. It was called. North of 60, whatever. That's it. Yeah, North of 60. And I remember it's like, why do you watch this?
Yeah, it was kind of depressing.
I was like, this is really bleak.
Life in the North, is.
Yeah, I was like, this.
I'm not saying a buddy of mine dated a sister that was. No, he dated a girl whose sister was on that show. That's what it was.
Oof. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of it, but it was grim. I'm like, this is harsh. I'm like, this is. So I'm in Central Maryland, actually.
What?
I am just south of the Manson-Nixon line. And Bet Tom, I used to work in Philly, so I am way far from your part of Maryland. I used to work in Philly, so I know Bent Tom's stomping ground pretty well. I used to actually work over Suburban Station in Center City. I worked in the old one Penn Center, the old PA
No,
Railroad.
Elvis though.
I remember Romper Room when I was really young.
Yeah, that was on both sides of the border for some reason. That was weird how that worked.
That's the guy.
I want to say Romper Room was shot at like upstate New York or something, like at a Rochester station. So it got, because it had Canadian kids and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is this Canadian or American?
Yeah, it was shot. Yeah, you're right. It was Rochester or Albany or something. Yeah. I call it the Manson-Nixon line. Closer to the real deal. So, but yeah. No, it's the Mason-Dixon, but that's just our slang for it around here. The Manson-Nixon line, we call it.
It was shot in Kitchener, Doug, claiming that one.
Kitchener. Yeah, I don't remember Corner Gas.
Yeah, Corner Gas. I forgot about that, Lee.
And Columbia, where he is
Yeah, if you want to know small town prairie life in the 90s, watch Corner Gas. With starring comedian Brent Butt as basically himself.
Oh, yeah, picture pages back when people liked Bill Cosby. That was on Captain Kangaroo. You could do picture pages with...
I used to do it.
Yeah, what was it? The Mortimer Ichabod marker. The marker that made the B shape and the noises. Yeah.
Yeah, which was just a bee stuck onto a regular magic marker.
Yep.
High-tech effects there, folks.
Oh, yeah. State of the art. They sold a cajillion of them and, may have financed Bill Cosby's life of crime. Who knew? Who knows?
Yep. We helped. My mother ordered the picture pages from the Rochester PBS station.
Yeah, I remember Bob Ross. Yep. Oh, Captain Kangaroo was great.
I rediscovered Bob Ross, Joe. I'm going to say approximately 20 years ago. I forget what station decided to rebroadcast Bob Ross, Rob, but I got home one day and I realized, half episode 5 days a week. So I started PVRing it, okay? And got home one Friday evening, had some dinner, rolled up a joint, handed it to my girlfriend. I say, here, smoke this. Just why? I'm like, we're going to watch some Bob Ross.
We're going to watch some Bob Ross.
I'm like, trust me. Like I sound like, like from Half Baked. Have you ever watched it on weed? Oh my God, what a difference though. If ever there's a TV show that, because you watch it, if your mind wandered at all, you'd look back at the screen, you're like, what happened? Where'd that tree come from, for fuck's sakes? Like, it's wow. Yeah. It was awesome.
I remember I read a bio of Bob Ross, and he taught himself to paint because he was, back when you had to surf, he was in the Air Force and they made him like a meteorologist somewhere on the dew line, way up in like northern Canada at a shared Air Force base. And he just had nothing to do for 14 months and taught himself how to paint. And I'm like, 14 months on the dew line in the 60s. Yep, that tracks. That would do it.
Yeah, Noise Bloom agrees. Yeah, like it's and they're on YouTube, folks. So if you do partake, I'm just saying, definitely, queue up a Bob Ross. Don't start it while you're rolling. Well, you can start while you're rolling because the initial just fill in some blues and greens, no big deal. But all of a sudden, that's what'll happen. You'll check your phone or something. Else you look up, you go, where the fuck that tree come from? Or that bush or that mountain? Like, it's awesome.
The land of happy little trees.
Happy little trees. He needs a little friend. You're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that was that. I remember that was like the later afternoon you got, because there was a guy who taught guitar, a British guy, Frederick Node, his name was. And I think it was just called On Guitar. And I remember I would watch that. He was a classical guitar player. And I'd like, and then right after that, it went right into Bob Ross.
I only remember one music show, and I want to say it wasn't even on PBS, but it was on TV Ontario, which was our provincial PBS, not even national. It was called Rock School, I think.
I heard of it, and I've never seen it.
British. It was the first time I ever saw a black guy with a British accent, and it kind of threw me off a little. I was young. I was like 8 years old. Of course, he played bass, Rob. Of course.
Did that need to be said?
Cliche, right?
I don't think so. I didn't think that needed to be said. We just assumed.
And yeah, it was kind of cool because that was the first time they were getting into MIDI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, okay, MIDI and it does this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And they would have, I think they had some special guests on occasion, or they would just show. Maybe it was on PBS, Michael. That was Rock School.
Yeah, not every PBS. We never got it. Like the big city, the more edgy PBS stations in like New York and LA got it, and Boston. Our little rinky-dink one, we did not get it. I have seen some of the YouTube stuff, but yeah.
It was British. They did Rock School too a few years later. Okay. Yeah, and then I think we ended up watching it in school. Like that was music class. Like bring in the VCR. We're gonna watch. Huddle around the TV, kids. I'm like, all right. Now I'd already seen it, so. And they're like, "Why aren't you paying attention?" I'm like, "I already watched this." What do you mean? When it was on TV, because I watched PBS and shit.
And one of those shows, it wasn't Rock School, but one of those shows has the only video I've ever seen of Howard Dumble. He's actually, you can find it on YouTube, and he's with the most annoying circle jerk 80 guitarist who keeps talking over him. But it's the only video I've ever seen of Dumble talking about his amps, and it's on some like PBS teen music thing. And it's on YouTube. And
Yeah, exactly. Because they show clips of Bootsy Collins, even Motorhead and stuff. Just like, wow. It's like, today we're going to talk about heavy metal. And then they'll just, let's do a quick cut to Motorhead just going full send. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't in Maryland, Albarge. I grew up like in Eastern PA. So we had these like low budget Rust Belt shows. We had the magical land of Hatchie Malachi, and the head puppeteer got killed by a bus. I remember that was kind of dark. Like, what do you mean he's dead? Like, that's kind of harsh.
It's like the first time I saw Thomas the Tank when George Carlin was the conductor, and later Ringo Starr. I'm like, wow, have they fallen? They're doing a kids show? Really?
Ringo Starr.
Wow.
Ringo Starr, yeah, Shining Time Station. Yep.
Yeah.
George. I remember very briefly because I would just be waking up from gigs, I think. And Richard Pryor had a TV show for kids called Pryor's Place. And I'm like, this is the guy that set himself on fire, free bass and coke, right? Just throwing that out.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. And it was actually a pretty good show. He had Ray Parker Jr. on it, actually. It was not bad. So when he wasn't high as a kite or abusing his spouses, he could do a good kids show. Yeah.
Who knew? We just didn't have the access.
We did not. Oh, Double Dare. Remember that.
Yep.
Toronto Rocks. I just like the title.
I don't know. I just knew him on the Pepsi Power Hour, which was our version of Headbangers Ball. But because being Canada, when would you have Headbangers Ball? Friday night on MTV. Okay. When was the Pepsi Power Hour, Rob? 4 p.m. on a Thursday.
That's a power hour, 4 p.m. on Thursday. That screams power. Yep.
So you got all the metal kids running home from high school or public school to tune in to see whatever they would show. And who's now John Roberts of Fox News was a long-haired leather jacket wearing JD Roberts interviewing Iron Maiden.
That's funny.
So still to this day, when he comes up in my social media, I'm like, you sold out, man. He's like, I know. He knows.
Actually, you know what? Richard Nakamixu, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember one time I went into a great music store, Elderly Instruments, which is out in Minnesota, I think, or Michigan. But great music store. And they used to have a ton of Prairie Home Companion stuff. And I asked them once, I was like, what happened to all your Whippets? And they said the same thing, that Garrison Keillor was such a freaking tool, they didn't want to carry any of his merch anymore. So
Yeah, he definitely had a past.
Right.
Yeah, isn't Elderly amazing, Bent Tom? I mean, they have just the greatest stuff. Yeah, I've ordered from them since I started playing.
I thought I heard the cat.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's using the litter box. She's not annoying me. So there we go. So, but before she acts up, we should probably wrap things up because we've gone almost 2 hours.
Wow. Can tell I don't have work tomorrow.
Reminder, if you're a top tier patron or member, you should have already received a link for the post-show hang. And yeah. And for those who aren't official, you maybe get a link or whatever later. What? Anyways, we'll see who shows up. So on that note, Rob's still Rob. I'm still me. Maybe we'll throw your link in. Well, I'm putting the link to your channel in one more time. So that way, if you didn't want to leave us, you can go click the link now and go subscribe to Rob because he's putting out content when he has time to put out content and stuff like that. I'll be back tomorrow with Canucks with guitars. I'm gonna play some stuff. Hopefully, do an unboxing. We'll do some bad album covers. And I don't know, chicanery and craziness. We'll go with that. So, hold the line here, Rob. As always, folks, hold those doors open. Let my sister in ahead of you in traffic. Why? Because she doesn't have a fucking driver's license. Just let her go. If she's driving, shit's getting real. Like, there's a reason. So just let her go. Just let her go. And I'll see tomorrow night. Yeah, be good to each other, because Doug's wife is real. She's real. And yeah, happy tone chasing. And of course, don't litter. Otherwise, Michael Cross has to pick it up.